Welcome back to Painting with Johnny. How many times have you sat and looked at a canvas thinking of what you should draw? Do it all the time. I've been sitting here for the last couple of hours trying to come up with an idea. I decided that I was just going to throw some paint on the canvas, see what I could come up with, see if it might string up an idea. In this video I'll have several different examples of how you can come up with an idea, from magazines to Google Images. That's a pretty good source. Taking pictures while you're out on a walk, you're at the doctor's office, think, hey, looking at a magazine, think, hey, that'd be a cool picture to draw. I usually rip them out and take them home and draw them. Or at least use part of the picture for the picture that you want to create, if you're not sure what you want to paint. When I was in high school, my teacher taught me how to do this, and I think it's a very useful way to come up with images when you do a lot of painting. So let me get into this, and once again, thanks for coming to Painting with Johnny, and let's get to it. Well, I'm still sitting here debating on what to draw, paint. Brings me to today's topic of the video. We're going to talk about the hidden block. Most people think creative blocks are about being scared or not wanting to start because what if it's not going to turn out, or what if nobody will like it, or this usually happens to people that are under pressure, like school assignments or deadline projects, or they usually get intimidated right off the bat. I know I do sometimes. Deadlines really suck. They're hard to meet sometimes, especially when you do a lot of painting and it's just the way it goes. And you have the fear version. I'm afraid to start because what if it turns out bad? Okay, well, yeah, nothing really turns out all the time. That's life. And if you're afraid to start, then a lot of the time maybe you won't. So just stick your neck out there and try something. If you're drawing, you can always erase it, and if you're painting, you can always paint over it. Then you have the people that are afraid to, well, somebody might criticize my painting. What if I get a bad critique, or what if somebody don't like it, or what if no one likes it? Or, you know what, if you're in it for being likes and popular, just draw. Who cares what people think of your art? Take it into consideration and try better next time. Practice. Draw more. It's all about repetition anyway. The more you do it, the better you get. And we have people that think they have to have a perfect idea before they start a painting. They have to have it all planned out. There's a process that's involved in, it's called creativity. There's a learning process through the entire painting. If you start out with a sectional area, say in the middle of the painting, and focus on that for the time, for when you start, or really, okay, well, one, the whole idea here is you want to use the entire canvas for your painting before it's finished. So start in an area in the center, say with a color or a design or a shape or a picture. It could be a picture of a person, a picture of an animal. It could be, like I said, a simple design. For this video, I went with this. I just went with a simple design because I figured, well, for a new beginner, I would just do something simple. Okay, so what I did here is I took some red paint and some yellow paint on a black background and pretty much just made a design. And once again, I'm stuck. I have the block going on. This happens all the time. It is not just you. Well, I looked through Google Images and for about 3 hours trying to come up with something cool to put along with this, and this is what I came up with. I thought of the idea of a fish scene, maybe some underwater, or maybe outer space. Outer space is kind of bleh. But I thought I'd stick with the fish scene, so this is what I came up with. I added some more blue, made it look more like water. I added a turtle, as you can see. Now the painting is actually starting to look like a painting. Okay, this gives me some other ideas. After I took a break for a couple hours, I thought it turned out like a pretty cool idea. Turtle. Taking breaks has a lot to do with it too. That can inspire creativity. Walk away from a painting, come back a couple hours later. It really does a lot of good. So let's take our own advice now, and I got some stuff I gotta do. I'm gonna take a break and we'll come back and we'll see if we had any cooler ideas. Okay, well, welcome back. As you see here, I added some plant life and some more detail to the water around the orange and yellow. Made it look like there was a little bit of the bottom floor and some more detail to the turtle. It's starting to come along pretty good. I was stuck for quite a minute. So this is probably like 4 days into the painting now. I'm on day 5 now of this painting, and I added some more sea life and a little more color around the outside and some more detail to the plant life. Definitely gave the turtle some more detail. I'm really trying to think of some more to put into this because I think there could be more. But there's another thing that people do that really blocks the creative process too. It's rushing. So let's just slow down. And rushing really takes the creative process and the learning process out of the painting. You learn a lot when you go slow. Sure, it seems like progress. Paint's on the canvas, you're moving along, everything's going fine. But you're missing all the learning. You're moving way too fast. Paintings they really don't happen in a day. If they do, they were rushed. They could have been better. That's my opinion. The best paintings that I've done are the ones that take like 2-3 months. I mean, that's a long time for a painting, but they're honestly the best ones I do. This took me 6 days. This was alright. I'm gonna leave it like this because I feel like if I do more, it'll take away from the painting. Honestly, I think this painting's finished, so we're gonna call this one done. This is what the finished painting ended up looking like. Not too shabby. Like I said, I could have took longer on it. it would have took it looked way better. But it looks pretty good. So take your time. Don't rush. Don't really have to plan a painting, okay? Do it as you go. Start in the middle, start in the side, but remember you have to fill the whole page. A picture isn't a picture if it's not fully all the canvas covered. Okay? If it looks funny if you leave part of the page blank. If you put the whole picture on the page, that is a picture. One thing I did forget to mention, your subconscious keeps working on the painting even when you're not looking at it. You get ideas in the shower or while you're driving about what it needs. Sometimes the break reveals that the painting is actually finished or you were just overthinking it. You realize like a problem is actually a minor tweak. Fresh perspective shows the solution was simpler than you actually thought. You know, sometimes you got to distance yourself for clarity. Essentially, for any painting that really matters. Step back, take a look. Sometimes it's good to get a good 20 feet away and look at it from a distance. You can see problems that you could fix like that. There's other ways too. I'll show them in videos to come on how you can see and fix perspective. If you can't really pick it out by eye, if you like shaped hands too big or an arm's too long or legs are too long for a body that's too short and a head that's too big. Some people draw like that when they begin. It's not bad. It's just that they need to find and figure out ways to figure it out. And I'm here to help. This is a good example of a picture that was rushed and I didn't use the entire page of the paper. Now, do you see how this looks funny by not using the whole page of paper? Okay, for one, I can point out that it would have looked a lot better if I'd have took the time to put a background behind the two girls in the white part and not just rushed it and painted it black for a background behind the flowers. That's what I'm talking about. This is okay picture. I mean, for a picture. It's not nothing that I'm gonna want to try to sell, but it's something past the time. I mean, if I'd have took the time and not planned it out and see, actually the way I started this is I was really blocked. I didn't know what to put, so I started drawing the girls in the middle, and then I really didn't know what to do, so I started putting flowers around it and plant life. And then I thought, well, I'll draw a circle and paint it black in the back. Bam, done. Move on to the next one. Well, this is what I get. My picture suffered. This is another example of what I was talking about deadline art. I was going to school for game art, and we were trying to come up with scene images, and this is what I came up with. Now this looks extremely rushed. Very, very rushed. And there's no background. So the page is left half empty. We ended up not using this. You can see why. So don't be afraid to, I realize you're in a hurry for a deadline. Plan your time out, man, so that you can actually step back, take breaks, prioritize your time for your pictures. I realize not everybody has time to sit around all day and draw. It's good, even draw 1 hour a day on it. That gives you plenty of time to step back, take breaks, but have it be a serious hour, like really draw on it, don't just goof. And then next hour on the next day you come back, it might actually look like something, and like 4 or 5 days from then you'll have a pretty nice picture. Okay, moving on. This is a pretty crazy picture, but this is another good example of what I was just talking about. Rushed and incomplete picture, didn't use the whole page. This is a picture I drew for anatomy class. As you can see, it's a skeleton. It looks like a skeleton, standing in a pose. Gonna have labeled parts for all the body parts, but it's not very good. Looks kind of cartoony. All the parts are there, just looks kind of cartoony. If I'd have took more time and took breaks and come back to it, but I didn't plan my time and I was rushed, and that's what ends up looking like when you rush. This is a picture back when I was in like 8th grade. Like, this seems like a whole another time ago. When I first started learning how to place pictures around the paper, I started off with the candle, and then I used the skeletons, and then I put the planets around it. And it was a pretty cheesy picture and pretty undetailed, but nonetheless, for an example today, this is what it looked like when I started. Wasn't very good, so don't think that your pictures are crap. I held on to this for over 40 years, and to this day I look back just to see the progress that I've made. This is a portrait I was working on. There's 1,000 flaws. The eyes, the nose, the mouth, the chin, the hair, the shoulders. No need for harsh comments. I know it sucks. I took a break. I drew this a year ago. That's how long of a break I took. So when I come back, I might have a really, really fresh look at this. I don't throw paintings away, drawings away. I put them to the side. I keep them. I work on them later. These are breaks. These are what are necessary for me to evolve and get better. So what I couldn't figure out here, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a study. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to draw chins, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to draw cheeks, and then I'm going to draw eyes. I'm just going to keep drawing them and do studies on them, and then when I get to a point to where I feel better about drawing these particular parts, I'm going to come back with an eraser and try again. No shame in that. Once again, we have another photo from when I was in like 10th, 11th grade, and not very good, but I kept it. I thought it was good at the time, considering I was just learning. And then I'd see how I progress. Early paintings of artists are really unique if you can get your hands on them, of real artists like Van Gogh. It'd be really cool to have the old Van Gogh sketch they had when he was in 8th grade, right? So I keep mine. Here's another attempt. I guess decided not to throw the other painting away, but I did decide to try again. Here's another picture. Same girl, different pose. It's getting better. Still having issues, same issues. So don't feel bad if you don't get it. Just set it off to the side, come back to it a later time. I have had this picture for a really, really, really long time and have not decided what I was going to do with it. And since AI has come out, I'm not real big on AI art, but I do like to use it to generate ideas. Here's another more modern idea of how to use AI as your friend. Okay, you could take this and put it into one of the AI generators and say, or hit the button for add background. Okay, that'll give you an idea of what to put in there. And then go to Google Images, find something that's similar to the image that the AI put in there, and draw it on the background and do it in sections so that you can add other elements to your picture, or just add a background, whatever you prefer. Here's one example of an AI background. Pretty cool. It was better than it was, right? The picture's no longer not the full canvas being used, and has elements to make the picture interesting. This one here, better yet. Add this into the painting, drawing, would look really cool too. Now this is what I mean by planning a painting. Okay, sometimes you sit around and you think, how do you plan a painting? But okay, I wanted to draw one big mural of a music scene and a bunch of people like in medieval times, but that would be kind of hard to draw all at one time because, I don't know, I just figured that it would. So this is what I did. I drew this picture. This is a picture of a man that is just sitting there. Happy little man. My little Bob Ross interpretation. Then I thought I'd put this on there. Little boy with tambourine, getting down. And then I wanted to add this. Lady with some kind of percussion cymbals. And then I'm gonna add this. Could have been just a guy listening. And a guy playing a muse or a guitar or whatever they're called. And this is for all one picture. And this is the picture. It's kind of hard to see, but it's all on there. Got the little boy with the tambourine, lady with the congas, guy over here listening to the violin, or listening to whatever he's doing. The guy with the guitars right here. I'll try to zoom in so you can see it a little better. But you can barely see it. The guy with the guitar is right here. Or a harp guitar. And then there's this guy over here listening right here, holding his hands out. Little boy with the tambourine right here. There's the tambourine. So this is what a planned picture is. And then you got the lady right here holding her hand up with her little percussion cymbals. So you can plan a painting. This takes a while. There's technique to that too. I'll show in another video. This wasn't a planned picture. This was kind of go as you go, but it was rushed. The flowers could have been way better. Flowers are something that I draw them pretty good at. These ones feel really rushed to me. The hands and the body and the dress, they are all pretty good. I took my time on those. So I'll zoom in on some of that so you can actually see they actually look pretty good. But you can over detail parts of a painting too. Like I over detailed this. So if you actually see it in person, but then you come over here to the picture of the roses that are on it, kind of look rushed. So this is another example of what I was talking about earlier. The power of a pause. Most everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. This can be said for a lot in life. Take a break. Don't be so serious. It's funny, there's a paradox to patience. Highlights complex and sometimes counterintuitive nature. Reminds us that while impatience can be beneficial in certain situations, cultivating patience is essential for navigating the challenge of life and achieving meaningful goals and personal growth and well-being. It suggests that a balanced approach and knowing when to act quickly and when to be patient is crucial for both personal and professional growth. So, slow down, take a break. It's okay. Plus, your emotional attachment cools down too. Places where you were trying to be precise and took forever to paint. And you can see when you take a step back that it wasn't really serving the purpose that you really thought. So you were kind of overthinking it. Plus your subconscious works on a painting even when you're not looking at it. Like I said earlier, you get good ideas in the shower and driving down the road. Break reveals painting actually finished when you thought you needed to do more. Or you realize sometimes that the problem wasn't as big as that you were freaking out about to begin with, and it was just a little minor tweak. Eraser, pencil fix, boom, done. When you take a break and get distance, it gives you fresh eyes. You stop seeing what you think is there and start seeing what actually is there. You see the imperfections that you did, the proportions that were bad, the spots that are too dark, places that you need to draw something. Step away for a day, a week, come back. Suddenly you see actually something needs fixing. Colors that are muddy, like I said, proportions that are off, areas need more contrast. It's like editing your own writing, and you can catch your mistakes when you just finish them up. But read it tomorrow and they jump out immediately. That's the funny thing about taking a break. My art teacher taught me this way back in high school. I don't know if she was really teaching it to us. I told a story in a past video about a girl named Nikki. The teacher used to make me help all the time. Kind of took me away from drawing. Maybe this is what she was trying to do. She'd give me a break some days. Nikki wasn't there. I'd draw. I'd come back. I'd take a break. I'd see my mistakes. Maybe she didn't even know she was doing this, but this is what I got out of it. Here are multiple paintings that I have gotten blocked on. Don't feel alone. There's a lot here. And frankly, in time they'll all be finished. They'll be nice. They'll be good. The whole page will be drawn on. But for now, they sit over here in a portfolio to wait. Here's another page. So, it happens to everyone. I'm just here to explain different ways that you can take and put pictures with pictures. Come up with ideas, kill the block. Here's an idea. Here's a picture I drew that I didn't know what to do with. How about I take this picture and then I take this picture and put it behind or off to the side of this picture. You see how that would make a picture? That's an idea. Just take a couple of your drawings that you saved that you were stuck on and put them in a picture to make a picture. Or what's the next picture here? This one. Well, that don't really go, but anyway, you get the point with this and this. It could be something. It's the idea how to make a picture. Or you could take a picture. I could put a dragon over here off to the back or into the front. Maybe look like he's fighting a dragon. Just get a dragon off Google Images and throw it on there. Don't make it look exactly like it. Change it a little bit, but that's how you can create pictures of your own. As long as you change it to a certain degree, it's not copying. So it's okay to do that. You can get a picture and make a collage and then kind of turn it into a picture. So There's another idea. I do that a lot. Now here I got this picture. I've used this in a couple of different pictures. I usually take it into Photoshop and put it on a background, place it on a background. Use this for a digital image. There's no shame in that. There's a lot you can do with a pencil drawing and bring it into a digital image. You can enlarge it in certain areas when you scan it to enlarge it. When you import it into the computer and then enlarge the image, say for eyeball, and get really super detailed, and then shrink it down when you take it back out of the program, and then you have an image with super detailed eyes. That's how they get detailed. I can get into that into another video too. What's this we got going here? This is another picture that I drew. This is old self-portrait. And we got this. This is alright. This could be something if you added another couple pictures to it, made it into a picture. You could turn it into something cool. I got a picture that I drew. I think this is one of them. Right here. But this picture right here used to be one of them pictures. But I added a dragon to it and some color background, and this actually turned out to be a really good picture. I took my time on it. I didn't rush it. It looked really good. This is another one. This is one of them 8th grade pictures. I really like this picture. This is one of my favorite pictures. It's kind of ripped. Been through a lot. This is where I very first learned the technique of putting pictures together from magazine pictures. I found an Outdoor Life magazine of a tree branch with some snow on it, and then I found a random picture of a rabbit and another picture of him in the magazine in some animal magazine and put it together. I entered this into an art show in Lansing, and I actually got a first place ribbon on it. I wish I had the ribbon. It was so long ago. It was like 10th grade. But I still have the picture. It'd be cool to have the ribbon, but oh well. And this is one of the prizes I won for my drawing. It was pretty good for my age at the time. I've advanced a little bit. But honestly, this is just as good as one of my better pictures that I draw now. So don't throw your paintings away. Keep them. Be surprised. They mean something. Here's another example of putting pictures together. I got a picture, the main picture of a friend gave me of his dog to draw for him. It's a Shar-Pei. The one in the middle is the picture that he gave me. And then I went online and I found some other pug pictures because, dogs they don't all look alike, but they all look alike. So I got some different angles of the pug head and off Google Images and kind of made a collage for him. And he thought it was just the best picture he ever seen, of course, because it's what he wanted. I did him a solid, and I actually had it laminated so it didn't get all messed up. I'm sure it's probably just like this to this day. It was actually a pretty good picture. It was just like a pencil outline and a little shading, not much. It's only blue because the only thing I got of it was a photocopy. So it kind of turned out blue. That's why. That's another idea. This is an image that I did in game character class at the Art Institute. Now, I added the background, that's what I was talking about. And this picture actually has the detail in the eyes. I would have to zoom in super, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I could try. Getting kind of blurry. was hand drawn, brought into a digital background in Photoshop, and then touched up in Photoshop. Actually turned out really good. But this is another idea you can come up with for placing images behind images. It's the same idea, coming up with the idea. Now here's an example of a picture that I took my time on. This actually turned out really well. I like the hands, I like the positions. They actually turned out really good. Oh. This is a hand study. That's what I was talking about by study. If you didn't know what I was talking about, you're not an artist already. Somebody starting out new. Bunch of hands on a page. Till I felt confident enough that I moved on to my picture and did what I was doing in my picture. Feet are hard. Took me a while to get to this point. These turned out alright. So don't give up. Do studies. Studies really do help. We'll do a few of those in future videos too. I get stuck a lot. This is a painting that's in my gallery. Finished. Took a while. Take your time. Your pictures will turn out like this too. All it takes is patience. Step back, take a break, and don't rush. Don't overwork it, don't overthink it. When it's done, it's done. Painting or drawing isn't a special thing that only certain people can do. You can do it, I can do it, we all can do it. It just takes a little practice. Like I said, patience. Don't overthink it. Have fun. Make your paintings cool. Make them unique. Make them your own. There are blocks. There are ways to get around them. And you will. Try using the techniques that I've shown you. I think you'll do alright. There are signs when you rush. Tension, checking the clock, mental signs too, thinking about the next painting, forcing your solutions versus seeing what's there. Be focused on your work versus anxious for the completion. Does that make sense? There's always a question or two of how do you slow down? How do you take a break? That's a good question. You gotta have a mindset. You gotta be able to live with unfinished artwork. Let it sit around. Get a portfolio. Don't let it sit around. It'll get all crumpled and messed up. Get a portfolio and put it in a portfolio or a folder or in a drawer, or explore without completion pressure. I mean, try to find cool things to put with it over time. Not a thing. Only takes a little bit of time anyway. And abandoned paintings, the ones that you never get back to, that might be a sign. They're done, brother. So think of it like that. So here's what I want you to take away from this. The next time you sit down and paint, ask yourself this question. Am I here to finish painting, or am I here to make a painting? Because there are two differences completely. There are two different experiences. When you're here to finish, You're rushing towards some kind of imagery, a finish line. You're missing everything. It's happening right now on your canvas. The interesting things, the happy mistakes, the things that you learn as you go along through a painting. When you're here to make, you present with kind of a process. You're learning, you're discovering, you're responding to what the paint is actually doing. The irony is, and I've learned this through 180 plus paintings, a lot more to be honest with you, that's just all I show. When you stop rushing to finish, you actually create better paintings. Your best work really happens when you're not thinking about the end of the painting or the completion. It happens when you're completely absorbed in it. When you're 3 hours went by and you just started it. It's happening right now, in this moment, with brush strokes, with pencils. Just slow down, trust the process. Let the painting teach you what it wants to become, not what you're rushing it to be. Because there's a truth. The magic doesn't happen when you sign your name in the corner. The magic happens in all those moments in between, when you just take a break and slow down, when you're present enough to see it. So slow down, trust the process. Let the painting teach you what it wants to become. Because here's the real truth. The magic doesn't happen signing your name in the corner, like I said. Stop rushing, stop being present, start being present, my bad. Your art will thank you for it, and so will you. When you look back and you see what you've done 2 years later, you'll think, wow, that was really good. Brings it back to the practical takeaway. Take a break, step back. The blocks will go away. There are techniques to get around. I've shown you a few. There'll be more in upcoming videos. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching Painting with Johnny. Thanks for following the whole video. Like and subscribe.
Suffocation, no breathing, don't